with Tahoe, an Australian Shepherd. Little pokey there, getting off the...
Yeah, they were being extra cautious on that contact zone, and it's a tough call to make, whether you want to hold up and lose some time to be sure you get it right, but you can't afford the fault, that's for sure. Had a long turn out there on the flat.
Pretty good synchronicity there going into the weave poles.
Yeah, wraps around the end in front of the dog. Typically that would slow him down, but he did a pretty good job here overall. He got far enough ahead where it did not slow the dog down.
Yeah, no faults. Here's Ken Fairchild with Echo. Ken from New Hampshire.
Oh, right off the side. That's one of the problems. You get a dog down the ramp and you slow them down, or they stop because you're trying to be sure they touch that yellow. Their next motion may be a leap off the ramp.
Right.
And that's what happened to him there. Good tight turn off of that jump coming back to the angled jump. There you go. He got out in front and turned the dog inside. Keep that path short back to the weave poles. Well, here's that dog walk performance again. The judge did not fault it. You can see the front feet coming off the side. Of course, Ken's holding his position right next to that ramp. It's possible one of those rear feet came down and touched it. She certainly has the better position. Here's the reverse angle. Here you can clearly see those front feet down, and it looks like those back feet missed the ramp. So it's one of those rare moments in time where you get the benefit of the judge's call.
We'll see where he falls in the standings. Up next on the course is Rob Barnett with Briscoe, an Australian cattle dog.
Upside contact was missed. The judge did see that one quite clearly. Hand went right up.
Now, Ken, is there any recourse in a case where you can go back and look at the replay and see that maybe there was a missed fault? Or
No, unfortunately, the rules do not allow any kind of video replay. It's understood that there's problems with having the angle, so we end up putting the burden on the judge to be sure they get all the calls right, but they're only human, and if they blink at the wrong point in time, they might just miss something, but fortunately, it's quite rare. Here you can see she did see this call. The dog's up and over that yellow. Hand went briskly up for the 5 faults.
Daryl Stover on the course next with Hannah, a border collie.
They're pretty much in their groove. He could be helping him around the turn a little bit. He's racing ahead and leaving the dog to come back on his own. A lot of time collectively can be lost that way. They are doing a pretty good job, but that's one thing they could improve upon here. Let's look back at that dog walk. He raced ahead from the start to get over there, but then the dog had a leaping motion off the end. Could possibly be a missed contact. And there you see what we saw before, this time across the end, and the judge's hand does go up. 5 faults.
Amber Abbott on the course now with Cody.
There you see a nice running contact going right through it, probably touching with all 4 paws. Only one needs to touch, though, to avoid penalty. Oh, you see with that burst of speed, turned wide. Would have helped for the handler to really be up there and work that turn, but she just misjudged on what the dog needed there on that turn.
Yeah, there's such a variance in the proximity that the handlers keep to their dogs.
Yeah, sometimes they're looking so far ahead they overlook some of the things that they might need to react to, and here certainly is one, and the dog comes up, runs out, 5 faults, goes back, and they lose valuable time as well as the fault.
Gail Anderson and Wilder on the course now. Shetland Sheepdog, don't see too many of those in the higher jump classes.
Yeah, the standards are such that a dog over 16 inches would be running in this class, and the breed standard being 16 inches, you can see that the majority of them would perhaps fall into the lower height class, but this one's doing quite a nice job.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of speed, Smaller dog has a little bit more control,
Time of 36.47, 3-6.
and they can be highly competitive against the bigger dogs.
And there you see the confusion out there on the course. Up next is Reggie Rogers from Colorado with Joplin. Yet another border collie. Very clean on the dog walk. Well, you know, the difference in the exit on the dog walk or the A-frame, you know, some of the dogs like this one tend to walk or run down it, whereas a lot of them actually leap off of it.
Yeah, the leaping motion comes from stopping a dog for the most part, training, stopping them and trying to be sure they touch it. That results in a leaping motion because they have gravity working to pull them on down once they do move forward again. Certainly the technique of favor these days is the running contact where the dog never breaks stride,
Right.
and try to teach them to run to the end of the ramp.
I would think so. Here's Julia Hunt with Dot. Yeah, and there you see exactly what you just talked about. Very, very good contact throughout that obstacle.
The dog really doesn't understand the concept of the contacts. It's there to be sure the dog comes far enough down the ramp to avoid penalty.
Well, she recovered at first, the little loop-de-loop, but then...
They got the refusal penalty there.
Exactly.
Time of 32.71, 3-2.
Nice time, but the fault is certainly going to hurt them. Here you can see swings wide, comes right up behind her. She didn't really have her eyes on the dog. She needed to help him through that turn and wasn't there when he needed it most.
And so the 16-inch division of the Performance National Standard Finals, Sandra Rogers and Brink take first place, followed by Sharon Freilich and Rip. In third place, Sue Marshall and Sassy. And with that, let's move right along into the 22-inch class here at the Performance National Standard Championships 2007. Here's Jodie Faulkner with Gracie, an Australian Shepherd. How we looking so far, Ken?
Well, they got a nice smooth run going. Oh, and as soon as we say that,
Yeah.
she gets away.
You seem to hex these people.
It's unfortunate. You can hear that crowd in the background. I was just listening to them. They're really supporting her every step of the way.
Oh, absolutely. So typical of the agility community. It's just a really positive environment for winners and losers. Here's Ann Williscroft and George. Now, this is an unusual breed. Don't see too many Chesapeake Bay Retrievers here, Ken.
Yeah, and there was a fault right off the end of the dog walk. Again, stepping off to the side. The handler's wanting to turn back very tightly off the end of that ramp.
Almost another fault there on the A-frame. I think he missed it by a whisker. Missed the fault, I should say.
8.65.
Well, let's look back at that fault. Here we got the 5 faults, and then when the dog comes across, she's trying to collect him to set up the next line instead of letting him work freely, and it really throws their performance off at that point.
Julie Koblin is handling Elvis. Elvis is a crossbreed. Now, Ken, help me out here. What's the difference between an all-breed and a crossbreed?
You had to ask Dave.
I did.
Crossbreed is just another name for an all-breed, which is another name for a mixed breed, which is another name for a mutt.
Okay. Ask a stupid question.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to say in actuality, depending on what country you're in, it may be called something different. There are a lot of designations for mixed breeds.
Well, this particular one seems to be doing pretty well out there
Yeah,
today.
Elvis has always been a good performer, and they've done a pretty good job right here. See her work that turn. Dog with a long stride. Doing a very nice job.
Here's Rich Bradley and Abe. Abe is certainly the first golden retriever I've seen out here today.
Yeah, surprisingly, we don't see too many of them, and they're quite capable and do a superb job. They're very responsive to their handlers. And you see how happy a worker they are. This is a good dog, and we just don't see more of them. He's got a good cross there he made. Keep the dog moving forward while he repositioned himself.
All in all, a good performance. The elimination, unfortunate, but, you know, you go off course one time, and let's take another look at that.
Yeah, he's heading over. He's actually almost in the dog's path to get a clean entry to the tunnel, so he kind of pushed the dog out unintentionally.
Yep, in the outdoor.
Well, so here's Ann Anderle and Cody. They've been top contenders over the years, and I'm surprised she let the dog get behind her there, but it's tough coming off that tight turn off the dog walk to get back in position.
Yeah, pretty solid run all in all.
Yeah, pretty solid. They could use some more speed here. That
Well,
little
you can
bobble
always
early, I think, slowed them down, and they just haven't regained it.
Yeah, more speed's always on the agenda, I think.
Time of 38.72, 3.8.
Ann Anderle and Cody turning in a time of 38.72 seconds.
There you can see that bobble there as they turned off the dog walk and headed for the sequence of jumps.
Well, we don't see too many Great Danes here at the Cena Sport World Games, but here is Morgan.
Yeah, the Great Dane is considered a giant breed, but she's really mastered the training of this dog, and this dog, of course, exceptional at working the course. Just goes to show that agility is for all breeds.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's tough. She backed up, stumbled a little bit, I think. No, just pulling back for that jump, and the dog turned with her.
So now how is that going to be judged? Was that a refusal?
It depends on the judge's angle and how they perceive it. If they feel the dog was committed to the jump, it'd be a refusal. If not, they just look at it as a misdirection, which is going to give them lost time. And that's what the judge has done here.
Time of 37.10, 37.10.
So still costly. A time of 37.1 seconds.
Yeah, so misdirection does eat up the clock, and here it cost them in their final time.
Liza Buckner on the course now, handling Annabelle. Annabelle's an Australian Shepherd.
Yeah, the Aussies tend to have a little bit of a loping style to their runs, and it can sometimes affect their performance of the contact obstacles, but she's done quite a nice job of training them to touch those right in the middle, so there's no question about whether they've touched them or not. You can see it right there. See how he comes right down in the middle before he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
34.95, 34.9.
There you go again, up and over. Leaves no question for the judge.
Here's Merrill Sheard and Blitz. Do most of these competitors train their own dogs, Ken?
Yes, the majority of the people are out there running their own dogs. Many cases their family pet, if not all cases. And occasionally if somebody has a physical problem, they want to see their dog continue on, they might have somebody run the dog for them. There you saw the whistle. The dog pokes his nose in the wrong end of the tunnel. That's considered an off course and draws the elimination whistle. And at that point, she just ignores that long jump and just running for fun and work their way out of the course.
Yeah, one mistake can really make all the difference.
36.41, 3.6.
But you know, the dog doesn't care. He just wants to get the leash and...
Yeah, he's out there. He's running. It's up to the handler to provide the direction. And here, just got the wrong signal communicated.
Teresa Rodney in sprint entering the course now. Teresa, a very experienced handler. Flat-coated retriever, another unusual breed here in this class.
Yeah, very able breed, though. We've had them actually as winners of tournaments in years past, and you just don't see many of them, though. Very nice. She's got nice working dog through the contacts there. And look at those weave pulls.
Yeah, very quick through the weave pulls.
Time of 33.77.
Very nice round.
Yeah, great job for Teresa Rodney in sprint, turning in a time of 33.77 seconds. No faults. We'll see how that time holds up.
Pavelka.
Here's Mark Pavelka and Scout. Mark and Scout are from California.
You got the hand up, missed the upside contact of the dog walk.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Because the downside is a greater risk, handlers often forget about that upside, and depending on the position of the dog when they approach that ramp, they could have that dog just jump right on, just as he did.
Yeah, they look like a pretty seasoned team out there.
Had a good round except for the contacts, and here we're going to take a look at the dog walk. The long stride here gets him in trouble as he jumps right up over that upside contact.
Here's Linda Mecklenburg with Super, a border collie.
Good tight turns, good speed also from the very start.
Super will be rounding out our competition here at the Performance National Standard 22-inch class. And they're definitely flying.
Yeah, he's looking back to the right side here. Oh, and it didn't have a good focus on the weave pulls on the approach as a result of it, so it'll be 5 faults for the refusal.
Time of 36.33.
Otherwise, an exceptionally good round. Yeah, here's probably the trickiest part of the course for most handlers. She handles it quite well. Dog's got good speed and efficient turns.
And the final standings in the 22-inch division of the Performance National Standard Finals, Julie Koblin with Elvis came in first, followed by Teresa Rodney in sprint. In third place, Liza Buckner and Annabelle. Thanks so much for watching this coverage of the Cena Sport World Games. Be sure to visit USDAA.com for other coverage from the Cena Sport World Games, including coverage of past year's events. That web address again is www.usdaa.com.